What's up YouTube, it's Guy and Kicks here with another review, and in today's video guys we're going to be talking about arguably the most popular New Balance silhouette, and that's in the New Balance 550. And in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this model. So let's go. And before I start the review, just a quick reminder, I have a link to Reshoevn8r where if you guys use that specific link you'll be able to receive 10% off your purchase. Reshoevn8r is basically one of the leading companies that sell sneaker cleaning products. They're based out of Arizona and they have a whole bunch of cleaning products that you probably might need to keep your sneakers fresh, or maybe bring one of those old sneakers of yours back to life. So if you're interested, definitely check them out. So I wanted to make this video to be able to provide you guys as much information and detail in my own personal experience with this model. You know, over the last few days, I've been tracking probably the two most popular GR colorways of this 550, which is that North Carolina blue and that Syracuse orange. Those two colorways, guys, are basically flying off the shelves. Like, they're selling out so quickly. You know, every time I get a notification and I'm trying to go in to cop a pair, I mean, it's gone within seconds. And I was just thinking, I was like, wow, this model has really become New Balance's most popular silhouette. So I was like, let me make a video, provide as much information as I can, and also show you guys my collection, and then give you some tips on how to rock these sneakers. So before we get into that, just a little bit of history about this model. It was intended to be a basketball sneaker. There's also a high top version of this model, which is the 650, but the shoe originally released in 1989. And the shoe, surprisingly, was designed by the sneaker dad GOAT himself, Steven Smith, who actually designed the shoe around 1987 and 1988. You know, the model for New Balance didn't really track a lot of popularity because other sneakers designed by other brands just basically took over, and they actually had a little bit better technology when it came to the comfort of the shoe. But decades later, the model finally became popular for New Balance when Aimé Leon / Teddy Santis brought the shoe out of the archives and made a super dope collaboration that gave the model that boost that it needed, and the rest is history. You know, I really don't know if this was all New Balance idea to actually use this model and then collaborate with Aimé Leon and see what the popularity was going to be, and then from there, you know, just build from there, or if this was actually Teddy Santis who just saw the shoe and was a visionary and was like, this is the perfect model that I need for my brand and to collaborate on. Not sure which one was what. It's like chicken or the egg, but honestly, whoever thought about it first was just a genius, because ever since then the shoe has just been killing it, and it will continue to do really well. So jumping into my collection, the first pair of 550s that I bought were the Aimé Leon in this sail white and green color. Love this colorway so much. I think to this day it's still my favorite 550s out of all of them. Maybe it's because I already have some nostalgia, being that it was not only my first pair of 550 but also my first pair of Aimé Leon, you know, anything, whether it was clothes or sneakers, and that kind of just opened up my attraction and my interest to this brand. And ever since then, you know, like all of us, like most of us that love and appreciate Aimé Leon, from that point on, I've just been a huge fan of it, huge fan of Teddy Santis and what he does. So that's why to me this sneaker is still that important. But this was my first colorway. And then the second colorway that I bought are the multicolor one, and it's a very interesting shoe, and I wore these for Christmas Eve, posted some pictures on my Instagram. You know, and to me this is like my perfect Christmas sneaker. You know, you got all the colors that are perfect for Christmas, so definitely a cool and interesting color sneaker to have in the collection. The third colorway in my collection are these black and white 550s. One interesting detail about this colorway is that it does have some suede on the toe box, so it gives it sort of that extra notch of like premium level compared to some of the other 550s. So I believe it was this colorway, the forest green one I think it's called, and also there was a burgundy one. Maybe there was also a yellow one, I think maybe. It does have that suede on the toe box, so it's just an added detail to this colorway. The fourth colorway is also another Aimé Leon, and this is that sail white and gray color. This is my second favorite colorway of that initial pack they released back in 2020. This one was part of that restock that happened last year in 2021, and I was so excited to be able to snatch this pair. A lot of people seem to have had great success in copying some of these 550s during that drop, but this colorway here was a must for me, and I'm super happy to have it. Fifth one in the collection is this white, dark green, and black colorway. This was also part of another pack. There was like a black and red one and also a black and blue one as well. Out of the three, I kind of like this one a little bit more. I like the green color, but I would say that probably this was my least favorite out of all the colorways that I have. but still pretty dope to have because you do have that two-tone color here on the toe box compared to some of the other 550s. It is usually just either an all white or you have the one with the suede and the leather. And finally, speaking of the one with the suede, I forgot to mention this one. This one is the navy blue and the white, and obviously you can see the suede here on this one as well, which is a nice detail because it gives the shoe sort of a higher premium level compared to the other 550. In case you didn't know, the Aimé Leon Dore 550s come in this unique custom box. Is obviously retro to the original box. Pretty weak box though because it rips very easily, and also the ALD versions do come with additional laces as well. And the regular GR 550s come in this box, and I don't know what's up with this box because I think all of them, they came in this box, like the box is falling apart. Like this is just crazy. I'm gonna have to tape this thing up. So I don't know what it is with this box, but it easily breaks apart. You know, when it comes to the materials and quality of these 550s, you know, it really does depend on the collaboration, and it also depends on which colorway you're talking about, because not all of the GRs that I currently have, the materials feel the same. Some actually feel better than others. Obviously for me, the Aimé Leon Dores, the materials, the leather that they use is definitely a little bit better. You know, it feels softer. You know, you put pressure on the leather and you start seeing some of that crease. So you can definitely tell that it's a better quality leather. When you look at the details of the upper, you know, they all have pretty much the same design. You know, you have the different overlays of leather. You have that same cutout here on the toe box where you have a little bit of mesh underneath that. You have the same type of mesh on the heel collar, and they all come with Ortholite insole. You know, for example, for me, this colorway, this GR version probably feels the cheapest. The leather material here feels very like plasticky, doesn't feel as soft as even this colorway right here. This colorway here, you know, when I touch the leather, it definitely feels a little bit better than this colorway right here. So it really does depend on the colorway, and obviously some collaborations like the Overly, you know, I've heard a lot of people brag about that one, how good the materials are on that one. Also recently the Rich Pauls, you know, even just looking at those, you can tell that the leather material on that looks really, really good. So it really does depend on the collaboration and also on which colorway you have. And in terms of sizing guides, this is probably the most important part of the video. When I first bought my first pair, I went with a size 10 because being that it's a basketball shoe, it reminded me of like a Nike Dunk or like a retro one. So I go true to size on those. I go with a size 10. And also with the toe box on these, you know, when I first saw them, they did look a little bit narrow. So I didn't want to take a chance and go a half size down, and then the shoe felt too tight. So I went with my true to size, and when I first got the shoe, my first, you know, reaction, my first feeling of the shoe was that I was getting that classic heel slippage here on the back of the shoe. However, I was able to alleviate some of that heel slippage just by tightening up the laces a bit more, and that definitely helped out a lot. So when I went to buy this pair, the black and white one, they only had a 9.5. So I was like, you know what? Let me go with a 9.5 to see if that heel slippage would go away. But honestly, once I grabbed the pair and I put them on, it almost felt, at least for me, exactly the same. Like there was not a huge difference between the 9.5 and the size 10. And because of that reason, I would suggest you go true to size, especially if you're someone who's on the wider side. You don't want to end up with a toe box that's too tight and then the shoe feels uncomfortable, and then that would suck. So I would probably stick with true to size. If you still get that heel slippage, you know, probably, you know, tighten up the shoes a little bit more, maybe wear thicker socks or something like that. But honestly, like I'd rather have a little bit of heel slippage than the shoes feeling too tight. In terms of comfort, this is an 80s basketball shoe, so it's definitely gonna feel pretty flat and firm. However, they do come with Ortholite insoles, which is something that was probably added on now in these recent models. Is probably not something that originally it came with. So here's the insole. This is on the black and white one. It's pretty much the same one overall, and you have that New Balance arch support there on the insole as well. So you do get that, which is cool. I've heard people complain about Ortholite insoles. Honestly, you know, to me, it feels fine. Feels pretty comfortable. You actually feel some softness when you put the shoe on. So honestly, overall, the shoe's pretty comfortable. It's not gonna go in my top 5 of New Balance sneakers because trust me, I have a whole bunch that'll blow this one out the water, but it's still pretty comfortable and you'll be fine throughout the day wearing this. The shoe feels a tad heavy as well, so it doesn't feel super light, and it's probably because of this midsole. The midsole here does feel pretty hard. It's basically like an EVA midsole. You have no type of, you know, breakthrough technology. You do have a heel stabilizer here on the heel, but basically you have an EVA foam, which is also exposed here on the medial side of the midsole. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it in terms of the info of this 550. I think this is a very interesting model for New Balance, and I hope, you know, it continues to gain popularity because this model, for me at least, I think it's a good competitor to the Nike Dunk. Overall, you know, I think in terms of quality, in terms of looks, well, looks is debatable, but in terms of quality itself and in terms of how the shoe fits, you know, I think this shoe does have an edge over the Nike Dunk. You know, the Nike Dunk, I mean, at least for me, is just played out already and the quality is really crappy. Here, even though the shoe ranges and the colorways range, you know, you're probably gonna get them for like either 100 to like 120. Obviously, depending on the collaboration, you'll pay more, but GR ones, that's sort of the range that you're paying, and you're actually getting better quality materials. And I just think it's a really good answer for New Balance to attack the Nike Dunk. I know a lot of people have been comparing it to the Air Force One, but for me personally, when I think of the Air Force One, I'm thinking of an all-white shoe, all-white classic basketball shoe, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's collabs and things like that, but I just think about the all-white Air Force One. With this one, I'm thinking collaborations, I'm thinking different colorways, similar to the way I think of the Nike Dunk. So I hope that that's the strategy, go after the Nike Dunk, because if New Balance starts eating away some of those Nike Dunk fans, things are gonna get really interesting. You know, recently I had one of my nephews who's like 19, hit me up and told me, hey man, I got my first pair of, 550s. Dude was excited. So that is pretty cool. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, it might just be hype, it might die out. But I think for right now, I mean, the colorways that are coming out just keep selling out. There's another dope colorway that was just recently leaked. It's like a white and burgundy, and I think has a little bit of like a light blue or something. That one's already gonna be super fire. So we already know what's to come, and it's super dope. So yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it. Let me show you a few outfits that I'll throw on, give you guys some ideas on how to rock these, and let's see. Alright guys, so that's it for me. Hopefully this video helps you out and tells you everything you need to know about the New Balance 550. Let me know in the comments below. Let's start a debate. Do you think this sneaker is really going after the Air Force One, or is it mostly going after the Nike Dunk? And like always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment below. I'll also leave a link to my Instagram page where you guys can follow me there as well. And that's it guys. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.